You are listening to the CEO Warrior podcast. The CEO Warrior is the highest level training and coaching organization for quick, scalable business growth. In this podcast, you'll learn how to get more wealth, freedom, and market domination. And now, your host, he's the co-owner of CEO Warrior. He's the co-founder of the Service Business Edge event. He's a published author and a popular speaker. Here's Business Warrior, Mike Aguilera.
Let's dig in. I got a couple big questions. We only have a little bit of time because Jay has to get in a car and head out to Connecticut after this, all right? So here's what I thought. He has some stuff I grabbed, which was a blueprint to billions. And I love that concept of billions. I really do. And so I'm going to give him a couple pieces here and let him pick or choose what feels awesome to him tonight. One of them is this willingness to be coached, because this is a unique skill set, I believe. The other thing is to come up with a breakthrough value proposition that disrupts the market. He talked a little bit about that, but I think that can help get to billions. Also, how everyone is in an organization is in sales. And the last part of it for him to pick from is how to reinvest growth by being cash flow positive. So pick whatever or anything you want to finish us up.
Well, let me give you light comment on a couple and then maybe go deep on one or two. So the blueprint to a billion has to do with the 5 or 6 phases of growth that you will go through and how different mindsets and different strategies have to be embraced. And it's a pretty long process. So we have a set of videos we've prepared and never done anything with, but I'll get you the transcripts and you're welcome to distill it down. The idea of being cash flow positive all the time is that everything you do in marketing should be a profit center. And you should have a balance. I mean, I teach that most people depend on one primary driver for most of their revenue and business. And I try to get every client I work with to build what I call a power Parthenon. It's 6, 8, 9 different activities, all focusing on different segments or different access points of the market, all generating either positive cash flow or compensating and bringing positive cash flow in to subsidize the short-term negative of some other activity that produces a huge second or third stage sale. Everyone is in selling because you are all an extension. I mean, and you're in selling of 3 things. You're in selling of your unique company and its mission to the market in any interaction you have, phone call, service call. You're in the job of selling the vision, constantly reinforcing it authentically to each other. You are in the vision of selling your unique opportunity to quality people so that they will appreciate the differential if you're trying to hire them. You're in the business of selling your qualitative uniqueness in everybody you meet in every way, not just because of your business, but as Mike said, I make it a point in 95% of my life, I'm not perfect, but to manifest what I teach, and I teach being preeminent. If you're going to teach it, but you're not going to follow it, and I live in a world of upside leverage, working on the geometry of a business, and if you're going to do something, getting the highest and best use. Helping inscribe in a book for you something very powerful beyond just a name has a multiple effect on your probability of doing something with that book and tying that book to what you experienced and having it have a much higher probability of driving you to implement. One of the things that I think Mike mentioned was willingness to be coached. He was, I don't know if you still are, a part of an organization where their motto was, if you are the brightest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I mean, don't delude yourself to think in your life you've come close to absorbing, experiencing, observing, mastering anything close to anything but the outer periphery of all that's possible. If there are individuals or organizations out there capable, willing, and authentically committed to guiding, leading, inspiring, fortifying your continued growth and compound prosperity, you need to look at it. We were having a discussion in the room outside, and I said, the greatest tragedy to me about expertise is that the people that need it the most discount it the most. If I said to you right now, I've got a safe, secure 22% investment you can put your money in, I bet most of you would say, hey, tell me about it. But if I say that investing in expertise, guidance, and coaching, mentoring, what I call masterful collaborative thinking, will give you a multi-1,000% return on your investment, that's more abstract. And there's this disconnect to me, because you can't grow at the pace, rate, and expanse that's possible on your own. You can't, unless you're a rare anomaly and omnipotent. No, I'm serious. I don't think of myself as a coach. I don't think of myself as even a mentor, but I think of myself as a masterful thinking partner. I believe very honestly, and he'll tell you, I mean, our arrangement is so modest, it's almost laughable. I'm not here to persuade you for any other reason than I think it's in your best interest. I don't get one penny of compensation, whether you go home and never do anything or you become aligned with this. But I believe I would be nothing without all the collaborative, caring, and supremely brighter minds that I was able to plug into in my life, who expanded my sense of possibility, would not let me deserve myself by underperforming my capability. I mean, learning is probably one of the greatest gifts and attributes, but learning without doing is the equivalent of sitting in the stands watching the game versus being on the field playing it. One of the things I say anywhere I ever speak in behalf of any organized conference instruction is, don't delude yourself to believe that being here is the big commitment. Being here is the preparation. The commitment is to yourself, what you've created, your family, your team, is what you do or don't do with the knowledge when you get home, and whether you sustain it and refine it and keep adding to it. And I said, one of the things that really troubles me about a society today, it's not a criticism of you individually, but it's human nature, is we always want a new drug. So we can learn 50 things from somebody, and if we hear it a couple times, we decide we already know it, even though we've maybe executed 2 of them, and probably not even come close to executing those 2 at a at a masterful and optimal level. And it always befuddles me. I mean, we used to do seminars that evolved constantly, but were really evolving variants of the basic methodology because it worked. I just was able to spin it, dice it, enhance it. And we were fascinated that people didn't keep coming back over and over again when they had a success. They would say, well, I already know all that. Then we would ask them, oh, okay, tell me how many referral systems you have in place. Tell me how many legs you have in your Power Parthenon. Tell me how many things you've quantified. Tell me what different yields, and there's a thing called allowable cost, what you can afford to invest in different kinds of buyers, different sources of buyers. And they couldn't answer 90% of it, but they'd heard it all. So they were ready for the new drug that they unknowingly were hoping would transform them miraculously, sort of like Dorothy kicking her heels to Kansas. And I admonish you, no matter whether it's Mike or anybody, don't delude yourself to think that showing up is the commitment. It's admirable, but it's nothing more than the preparation. I was saying this, I don't know if I said it to all of you, but I said it last night. I'm very proud. We stopped counting at 100,000 success stories worldwide. That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it's piss compared to the millions of people I've shared the very same infallible, universal, just absolutely undeniable success, growth, prosperity generating method strategies with, who basically went right back to status quo. There's an adage, and it's very appropriate with what I think Mike teaches, and it's a little shocking, but when you think about it, it's liberating too. It is yours to lose. I mean, you have to execute on so many things you can learn to screw it up or not execute. Does that answer okay?
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is going to be the last question, and I think this is good no matter how successful you are, you're starting out or feel like you're going to evolve. And someone told it to me yesterday. I don't know who I was with, what my wife said it. Knowing what you know now, if you were to start a business today, what would be let's just go with top 3 things that you feel everybody should do or know or master that will create success?
First of all, you need to be masterful at quantified marketing and direct response marketing and value-based marketing and benefit-driven marketing. If you aren't, then you're going to be very weak. And that includes many different variants, including referral marketing, etc. Second, you have to understand that most business owners are two-dimensional. They look at revenue minus expense equals profit. The really great ones, the private equity firms, they are three-dimensional. They look at yield, what the ongoing yield of an investment is, not just one time, but forever. You have to either play a static game or a perpetual game. So part of being preeminent is thinking it's only a matter of time before I will have the category and caliber of people that I want as either clients, vendors, team members, and you play the game for the long haul. You're not expecting a one-time transaction. Your whole strategy, your business model is predicated on taking people on a lifetime journey of associative connection with you, and you are their most trusted provider for life. And you are a leader in guiding them to what they need to know you're their trusted advisor and you program ethically their expectations, and maybe it's that every 6 months you're going to come and check the system. I mean, if you know historically and predictably that a mechanism breaks down over time, that a human being is not vigilant and doesn't keep things clean or lubricated or filters cleaned or drains clean, you know that time works to your advantage, not against it, don't you?
Yeah.
But if you don't use that in a formalized way and you reactively wait for people to call you, that makes no sense, does it? No. So it's critical, strategic, consequential thinking. And it's building an asset that is sustainable. Because if you're going to go through a life and you're going to invest passion, hope, possibility, time, expectations, outcome expectations, financial fulfillment, retirement, lifestyle, you better play the game optimally. And optimally is not playing it intermittently. It's not accepting mediocrity. It's not knowing values. And it's not leading. The difference between leading and not leading a prospect on a lifetime mission, once you gain trust, and there are very predictable elements in mastering absolute trust, and we talked about that a little bit yesterday. But if you can control a family's life forever versus an intermittent, static, one-time transaction, wouldn't you like the latter for 3 reasons? 1, it's going to be 10 or 20 times more profitable. 2, it's going to be 10 or 20 times more enjoyable because now they are almost like family as opposed to a nameless, faceless, price based transaction. Yeah. And I think it's you have to have a strategy. You have to be strategic, not tactical. Is that enough?
That was awesome.
Okay.
So here's what I want to do. Was that good for you? Is that good? All right, so here's what I want to do, everybody. Jay has to hit the road, head to Connecticut. Thank you so much, Dave.
Well, my honor.
For everything.
Thank
Everybody stand up. Let's give a big round of applause.
Thank you very
much. Mr. Jay Abraham.
Thank you.
This has been another powerful business building episode of the CEO Warrior podcast show with your host, business warrior, Mike Aguilera. Do you want to get the Warrior Blueprint to growing your business? Check out Service Business Edge at servicebusinessedge.com.